and a happy Super Sunday to each and every one of you. Kirby on Sports Live for our live pregame show. We are coming to you from the Trumbull Insurance Agency virtual studio, where you can turn your stress and anxiety into peace and security with Trumbull Insurance. Contact Patrick Bam Kemper today for all your insurance needs at 540-532-0622. In for the rest of our wonderful sponsors who have helped us out through the course of this amazing football season of coverage right here on the Kirby on Sports podcast. Regroup Building Services, PM Plus Reserves, Shenandoah Primitives, Dr. Dave Leadership Corporation, and Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate. Joined by the weapon, Dan Demski, the Swiss Army knife, Carlos Martinez. Happy Super Sunday.
We made it. We're here, boys.
We made it.
It's the end of the road, boys. It's the end of the road.
Long regular season, but here we are.
Now the dark ages are about to begin.
And returning guest who was on this time last year, Tyler Braun-Duin. Hi, Tyler.
Hey, super excited to be on. Best day of the year.
Oh, it should be a national holiday. I'm surprised it's not a national holiday
yet.
The
day after the Super Bowl should be a national holiday.
Why not both?
Why not both? That's what I'm saying.
The Super Bowl's already on a Sunday. Most people are already off, aside from certain, jobs that might, whatever.
Hungover. Yeah. Busy.
That is true. Hey, folks, before we get into this, if you don't have your spread set up for Super Sunday yet, don't worry. Anthony's Pizza in Stephen City has you covered. Call them today to ask how you can get a free order of breadsticks, cinnamon sticks, garlic knots, or cinnamon dots. Also, they have a special running today, a large one-topping pizza for only $11.99. Call them today at 540-869-9055. And tell them the Kirby on Sports podcast sent you. Once again, Anthony's Pizza on 161 Warrior Drive in Stevens City, Virginia. So it's here, guys. It's here. The Bengals and the Rams. Let's just dive right into it. We have a lot to talk about with these two teams. Who am I starting with here? Carlos, the Rams. We'll start with you. The Rams. It's hard to start with who to pick to talk first. But anyways, let's get the ball rolling. The Rams, they kind of had an all-in mentality. They traded for Stafford in the offseason, got all these assets. And I think of it as the Rams are at a poker table, and they slid the chips all in. And they just have to win this game, and they cash out on that all-in bet.
Yeah, they really did go all in because they traded about every single first-round draft pick they had until 2025, I think.
2025,
next time.
Yep.
And obviously they didn't feel like they could do it with Jared Goff, so they went and got Matthew Stafford. And then of course trading for Odell Beckham Jr. and Von Miller in the middle of the season. They've truly gone all in, and here they are, even though some of us kind of doubted that they were going to actually make it, considering how the end of the season kind of went, losing to the 49ers to end the regular season, and then exercising those demons, luckily at the end beat LA. Shout out to Mr. Yuri.
How are you, Mr. Yuri?
But they really they really have that all-in mentality. Like it's all or nothing here, man. If they lose tonight, this is going to be a failure of an experiment.
Well,
Tyler, go ahead.
Yeah, real quick. I was just going to say I don't think the window's closed completely, and I don't know if you can necessarily call it a failed experiment. I mean, they're in the game, so you have to sort of consider that it's worked to this point, right? It's got them to the Super Bowl, but I kind of agree with that. I mean, I think. If they don't win, though, I don't think it's a failed experiment or the window's closed. But certainly it's a huge disappointment for the Rams. So
So, Tyler, what were your thoughts going into the start of this NFL season? Seeing that the Super Bowl was in LA, did you imagine that the Rams would be the second team in a row to be the host team and play in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, going into the season, I got to be honest, I really didn't see it happening. I've gone against Stafford all of his years as a Vikings fan. Well, I haven't gone against him, but my team that I'm rooting for has gone against him, and you know, I thought that I thought he was a big upgrade over Jared Goff, but I didn't think he was like the man. But I guess he's proved me wrong, right? He goes over there, has a heck of a year. McVay's a heck of a coach, and like you said, they have this all-in mentality. They got pieces around him defensively, offensively, and now they're here. So, all these years, you have all these years of never happening, and then 2 years in a row. Kind of weird.
So up on the screen right now, the Super Bowl timeline for the Los Angeles Rams. 1979, they lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers 31-19. Then they beat the Titans in 99, 23-16. And then
Heck of a game.
And then the Tom Brady era to 2001, where that game-winning field goal, and then obviously the Super Bowl playing the Patriots once again, and to now they're technically the away team, but they are the host team facing Cincinnati.
Preface this also 1999 and 2001 they were the St. Louis Rams during that time.
Yes, they were. Yeah.
That was too much work for me to change. So I was like, there's just gonna be Los Angeles this whole time. But they've only won one Super Bowl in franchise history, and they've been to this is their fifth one. So obviously, the 2018 Super Bowl was just an absolute embarrassment. To lose that way, and after being one of the highest high flying offenses. So that's all I got.
Yeah, this is definitely a huge moment for the Rams, and obviously we've talked a lot about Stafford and finally getting an opportunity to even advance far into the playoffs, much less playing a Super Bowl. But Carlos is right on about that 2018 season. I mean, they were considered one of the top offenses in the league that year, and they just had an awful showing on the biggest stage. They only were able to muster 3 points, and I think in the back of my mind in that game, you sort of think, at some point, this Rams offense is going to get going, and they just never did. I mean, you got to credit what the Patriots were able to do in that game, especially defensively, to shut down the Rams and all those weapons. So I think in a way that kind of comes into play here. I mean, both these teams match up pretty similarly on paper if you look at both their offense and defense as far as their overall ranking in the NFL. I mean, they're really neck and neck. So I think it's going to be a really good football game. But this is a chance for the Rams, to sort of prove that, that like Carlos said, this experiment and trying to bring in all these players, and obviously Stafford being probably the biggest difference maker. I think the Rams were already a pretty decent playoff team before Stafford got here. I think that was just the missing piece they needed. And obviously getting Odell Beckham was huge as well. I think those two additions are really what put them over the edge. But this is going to be a great game, and really an opportunity for the Rams to, put those demons to bed. They haven't been able to win yet, so try number 5, and we'll see if they can get the job done.
So for me, I thought it was just funny how Matthew Stafford's just casually vacationing in Cabo, and he runs into Sean McVay, and they sort of make the unofficial deal right there on the spot in Cabo.
Yeah, it's sort of like recruiting in college. I mean, not quite to that level. I mean, but the personal relationships and stuff like that are built. That's sort of what it seemed like to me. Yeah, it's definitely a weird way to initiate a trade, but credit McVay for being a great spokesman to that team. I mean, I think LA would have been a great destination for any quarterback, but especially Matt Stafford. All those years in Detroit, struggling, really carrying the team on his back for sure, having an opportunity to finally surround himself with some really elite talent and have a shot at a Super Bowl. I think he saw the writing on the wall there, so gotta credit him for making that jump.
All right, so obviously the offense and defense both look pretty good for the Rams. The Rams are favored on the lines as we speak right now. Last time I checked, I believe it's like 3.5 if I remember correctly last I checked. But obviously they're going to be favored because even though they're considered the away team, they're in their home stadium. So that's
but how much of a home field advantage is Los Angeles? I mean,
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, it's not
because
really
their
it's not
fans
really
don't
much of a
show
home
up.
field. Yeah, they don't have a very strong fan base. Honestly, it seems like a lot of people who are celebrating it, it's more of a social event more than it is a fandom event right now. A lot of Los Angeles like influencers are the ones who are like going to this game who don't really actually care about the team.
I think and that's LA sports in general, right? It's all about the celebrities, the stars.
I mean,
stuff.
It's different, like with the Lakers or like with the with the like two soccer teams they got there. It's just like the Rams football team just hasn't really like had enough time to grow enough roots to have like that strong fan base in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and
they've been in Los Angeles before, but of course they then moved to St. Louis. But now coming back, I mean, it's been forever since LA has had a professional football team. Now they've got two, and both don't have really good fan bases in Los Angeles.
And I think winning puts all that to bed. You start to see fans come in droves. I think after that, at least. Anyway, that's my thought.
Well, just to go off on a side note, I just looked today, and the cheapest ticket average was $6,500.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And back to Super Bowl I, that was in LA.
Was it a nickel?
It was $12.
Okay,
$12.
It's become a corporate event. That's what it is.
It's crazy.
It's not the money grab then that it is now. I mean, now there's so much sponsorship and pageantry and all that stuff. Super Bowl I, I mean, that was brand new. Like the whole idea of having an AFL NFL championship game was sort of still still in its beginnings. So yeah, it's really hard to compare then to now, no doubt.
It's just crazy. I mean,
it's not the Super Bowl is not for the average fan. The average fan is not going to the Super Bowl. Again, it's for the
unless you're a millionaire.
Yeah, the actual fan base of the team is not actually going. Like I said, it's more of a corporate event. It's a lot of sponsors, a lot of, big names are the ones that go to the Super Bowl. It's not like average Joes like us here, Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, there was one because I remember, Tyler, the Vikings' long playoff run with Case Keenum. They unfortunately lose to the Eagles, but like if they make it to the Super Bowl, like you're gonna try everything to get there, but I mean the money just stands in the way.
Yeah, that's a lot of money to pay for one game, especially, I mean, not to get into the pessimistic side, but what if you spend $8,000 and then your team loses? I don't know.
Great point.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just the Vikings and me coming out.
It's the ultimate bitter hit. I mean,
they haven't given you much to have faith in lately, so I don't blame you. But like in the case of like even if like say Dallas goes back to the Super Bowl here soon, I'm not forking up $8,000 and then to go see this. I'll watch it comfortably from the best seat in the in the planet, and that's watching it from from home or from a TV screen somewhere else.
Get a beverage anytime you want. No line for the bathroom.
Don't have to pay $25 like freaking Dan Snyder would charge for a beer.
Yep.
Does charge. Actively.
Did.
You get better viewing angles at home too. I mean, the TV experience is superior.
Well, much better.
Like if you go to your team's game, right, you have the camaraderie with the fans that are, your fans. You have all of that. The stadium is amped up for it. But, like you said, the Super Bowl is kind of a corporate event. So do you still have that same camaraderie with the person next to you, or all the fans in your row?
Yeah, you're gonna have fans from all over with different jerseys on too. That's the other thing.
Yeah, that too.
That's that's the other thing is like you're not gonna have that like you said, Tyler, that camaraderie that you would get otherwise at your team's home stadium in a regular season or playoff game. So yeah.
And also, mind you, that like 6,000 or like $8,000 that you're paying, it's not like you're getting like, front like lower bowl seats. You're getting nosebleed seats. Now nosebleeds aren't that bad. I actually prefer the nosebleeds because you can see everything. But I mean, at the Super Bowl, if I'm gonna fork that much money, I want good seats. I don't
want to be close.
Sitting and in seats that costed me, how much did we pay for our tickets when we went to Chiefs Washington? It was like $80-$90 a ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably close to 100,
Well, I mean,
something like that.
which I thought was pretty low, being that Patrick Mahomes was coming to town. But that's just me. But I mean, the whole game day experience, you're gonna get a lot better angles, camera angles, so on and so forth, a lot better presentation on TV. But the fan experience at the stadium, like you were saying, Tyler, just the camaraderie, and you see just more. You see more, but there are no camera angles, if you get what I'm trying to say here. Because you can see stuff that happens off the TV that you don't see when you're on TV. Like the certain things I hone in on, like, the sideline reporters just making laps around the field. I mean, that's just me, but that's
look, there's a fight on the Washington bench. Oh, sorry, Kirby. Was that too soon? Well, wait, that was on TV too. Sorry.
That was on TV.
Yeah, that was.
Usually it's not shown.
Building. Hey, hashtag take command.
I don't believe they're. I don't believe they're in the Super Bowl, but let's move on to the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals. Last year, they had a very rough road. Ironically, Joe Burrow tore his ACL in Washington. Obviously,
the graveyard of many ACLs.
yes, absolutely. But Joe Burrow coming back. I mean, what we predicted, we didn't really think Cincinnati would be doing that well at all.
Bottom of the barrel in the AFC, I think we all
gave them no shot.
Last in the North.
We did not expect this Cincinnati Bengals team to do what they did.
No one did.
Nobody ever expected.
Except Dan Orlovsky, apparently.
He's one of the only ones who got it right, yeah.
So we never expected this team to be where they are today when the Super Bowl starts in a few hours from now. But it's crazy to see after what Joe Burrow's gone through with his ACL. And I mean, I just can't believe it. It's a crazy storybook story. And if the Bengals complete this, because I was hearing other people yesterday say the Bengals have nothing to really lose. They have nothing to lose because they're in the Super Bowl and they're going to give it 100%.
I agree
that's
with
what
that.
I heard.
I agree with that.
Yeah, because like nobody ever said you were going to make it.
You can't say they have nothing to lose. They have everything to lose in sense of they're playing for the Vince Lombardi Trophy. You have that to lose. It's you have a chance to really look.
Surprise my dad's.
I know
Bengals
some traitor energy I sense here.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, listen, a majority of America seems like they're rooting for Cincinnati. They're a fun team to root for.
They're a fun team to root for. Yep.
And honestly, like I kind of want them to win too. It's just like they're the Cinderella story of this season. Nobody expected them to be here. They've made this magical run despite the fact that they have a terrible offensive line.
Yeah.
It's just I mean,
yeah, they've defied everything.
Yeah.
To be honest. Yeah.
What are your thoughts there, Tyler?
Oh man, let me take you back to week 1. The Vikings play them, right? And we lose to the Bengals, and I'm sitting there going, "Oh my goodness, what a disappointment to the season. We just lost to the Bengals. This is terrible." And fast forward to now, and it's like, okay, that wasn't so bad. I don't know. They have Burrow, man. He's like Houdini in the pocket. He has this escapability. It doesn't make sense. You watch him, you're, half the game you're thinking they're going to lose. But then Burrow puts it on. He puts the team on his shoulders, puts the team on his back, and he carries them forward. So I'm really excited about the game. I'm personally rooting for the Bengals. They're they're the big underdogs, right? I think the public has they've kind of written them off. They're thinking, okay, the Rams are going to take it. I mean, you listen to any of the shows, it's like Rams got this. I don't know.
I think the pundits might have written them off, but I think like from everybody I've talked to, just out in public when I'm at work, it seems like everybody is rooting for the Bengals. Like everybody's like, I want the Bengals to win. I want them to win just because, again, everybody loves an underdog story. America loves an underdog story, and they are the underdogs in this game for sure.
Yeah, it's funny because I was looking at the CBS Sports predictions. They had all their staff pick the game, and like 7 out of 8 picked the Bengals, which I thought was interesting because, like you said, Tyler, it just seems like a lot of the ESPN shows and stuff like that, not to name any, but, they give the Rams pretty much the clear go-ahead that they're going to win this game. But I really think it's going to be a fun one. And Cincinnati has a chance to stun the world. I mean, they've stunned everybody just getting to this point. Why not do it again? You know what I mean? Why not have one more stunner? And look, I think it's we can talk about this, but I think it's too soon to really pick who the next great team in this league is going to be. Everybody now with Brady retiring. Yeah, good point.
That's a good point.
Good point. The Rams were off that day, but
shout out Greg Demski, really bringing in the fire this week.
Yeah, I think I lost my train of thought there. Shoot. Anyway, it wasn't profound what I was going to say. It usually never is. But anyway, Cincinnati is, I mean, they've just been a fun team to watch in the playoffs. You always love the underdog story, and I think in this situation, I think it's an upset if the Bengals win this game. I really do. I really strongly do.
100%.
They have, they got a lot going against them, and I think the biggest thing that we'll probably talk about is, like Carlos said, that offensive line is atrocious. I mean, when the Rams have one of the best pass rushes in the National Football League, you've got to block
the strength of the Rams' defensive line is going up against the extreme weakness of Cincinnati, which is that right side.
Especially the right side, yeah. That's one key, I think, and I know we'll get to this. I think it depends. Does Joe Mixon have a good game? If they're able to establish the run, I think Cincinnati will have a much easier time moving the football. I mean, obviously that's true for every game, but I think especially when the pass protection has been so awful for Cincinnati. Joe Burrow can't get sacked 9 times, and
not against this team.
They're not going to win if he gets sacked 9 times. It's just not going to happen. But Cincinnati's a fun team. We'll get to our predictions later, but I think they have to do the little things well in this game. I think there's a lot more of that for Cincinnati than the Rams for sure.
I agree with that. With that last comment, there's definitely a lot more pressure on the Rams to win this, especially because they are also at home. Even though it's not really a home field advantage for them, like it is, like say in Tampa, like last year. Even though there was still not a full stadium there last year, but yeah, there's definitely a lot more pressure on the Rams than on the Bengals. But I will say this: Jamar Chase is going to get doubled pretty much all game, I'm pretty sure, and they're also going to have Jalen Ramsey on him all game, and he's going to he's probably going to contain Jamar Chase. But the difference is that after Jalen Ramsey, I mean, that secondary doesn't really have anybody else.
That's a good point.
I mean, Jalen Ramsey's pretty much like the guy. So when you got guys, we saw it last week or 2 weeks ago against Kansas City. Once they were doubling Jamar Chase, they pretty much contained Jamar Chase, but they got T. Higgins going, they got Boyd going. Mixon started running the ball a little better. That's the thing, and it looks like, if I'm correct, is the starter for the starting tight end for Cincinnati playing today or no? He is?
Last I heard, I think he was going to suit up CJ Uzomah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should be good to go. I knew he got injured in that last game, but I think he's good to go.
They said it wasn't as bad as initially seemed.
Yeah.
During
Perfect.
the game.
I mean, and he's like he's a productive tight end, so he's definitely going to help in this game. So they get him going too. I mean, it might be a long day for Los Angeles. The thing is going to be, can they give Joe Burrow time to get the ball to those guys? If he can get them to those guys, to Mixon, because Mixon's a great, catching running back too, so he can catch it out of the backfield and make a play with it. But if he can get, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and, Uzama going, then, I mean, it's going to be a long day for Los Angeles. So that's why, like, the Bengals they have a chance to win this game. It's just, can they give Burrow time?
And you said it, Carlos, you mentioned it. I mean, Joe Mixon he's kind of an X factor for them in this game, not just running the ball, which I think it's been underappreciated how much he's meant to this offense this year. Hasn't been as big in the playoffs, but also in the passing game. I mean, screen passes, little short routes that he runs. He's a big part of that game, of the passing game as well. So I think that'll be huge if they can get Mixon going in both ways. I think that I really think Cincinnati's going to have a pretty good chance. I think, Carlos, you mentioned it with the secondary outside of Ramsey. They struggle a lot. They're going to have to do some things. They're not going to be able to go deep downfield, I don't think, a lot in this game. I think the Rams are going to contain that deep pass. So the key is to get guys open like T. Higgins, those 6-7 yard, drag routes, those slant routes, stuff that's shorter. I think Cincinnati's going to have a much easier time with that than they will going to those medium and long passing routes. And T. Higgins is a weapon. I mean, he is quietly, he's not as good as Jamar Chase.
I know you want Lamar Jackson in this game so bad. Just give him time, Dan. My Lord.
I think I didn't have enough caffeine today. But Jamar Chase, and obviously, like you said, Carlos, the attention on him is going to be insane. He's going to be doubled, and most of the game. So that's going to leave guys like T. Higgins, he's extremely talented receiver. It's going to give him some opportunities to make some big plays for Cincinnati. So this is just going to be a really fun matchup to see how Cincinnati fares against the secondary. And look, it's going to be a great matchup to see if Cincinnati's offensive line can block that great defensive front for the Rams as well, which I think is going to be a struggle all game. But if they do it, Cincinnati can win this football game. That's the key for me.
Tyler?
Yeah, does Burrow, he has the college championship, does that help him at all in like a big game? I mean, take the pressure off a little bit, possibly? I don't know.
I think it does.
Yeah. Because he's so nonchalant now. It seems like he's been so cool, calm, and collected the entire week.
Seems like, especially during
the spotlight's not too big for him, I don't think.
Yeah, especially during that run with LSU. I mean, they were by far, like, that was one of the greatest, seasons a quarterback had ever had. That season that they won the national championship at LSU. I mean, They went up. They went to Alabama, beat Alabama. They went out, and Oklahoma wasn't really a challenge for them. But then to face, Clemson and Trevor Lawrence, who were the team that season, who everybody was like, in love with, and just beat the brakes off of them. I mean, and of course, he's doing it with, Jamar Chase, again, and they had such a great game in that national championship game. The moment just didn't seem too big for them then. I don't think the moment's going to be too big for them now. Like, from everything I've heard, to them, it's such a chill environment. Like, they really don't feel that, like, that pressure that, like, you would normally feel now. So, yeah, I mean, I think ultimately that national championship is going to help, like ease them into this. Even though this is the Super Bowl, it's way bigger than the national championship game in college. I think that'll ultimately, I think it still helps going into this, because you've been in the biggest moments, you've been in the biggest games. So I think that helps.
And the media attention on them, not just in that game, but all season long when they were on their run. I mean, they had a target on their backs at all times, and especially playing in the SEC. There's no easy game week to week, especially in conference. So I think those games have prepared them for this in a way. And yeah, the chemistry with Chase and Burrow is about as high as any chemistry I've ever seen between a quarterback and receiver to start out their career. So It's going to be really fun. I think if Chase is able to make a few big plays in this game, I think that's going to be the difference maker at the end. If Cincinnati is able to win this football game, they can keep up for sure. But I think if at some point Chase is going to make a big play tonight.
He's gonna make something happen.
He's
sure.
gonna make something. Yeah. So
we'll see I think it depends because, like you all said, Chase is probably going to get double teamed. How is he going to find an elusive way to get out of the double team?
I mean, he found it. He found it against the Chiefs.
Speed.
He found it against them. He scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
The thing is, when we say that, like, he's gonna make he may not. It may not be some like 60-yard touchdown catch or something like that. Maybe it's just like an important first down. Maybe it's just a short touchdown. He's gonna make his impact somehow in this game. I can guarantee you that much.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I would not be surprised if one, if not both of these coaches threw out a trick play or something just to catch the other team off guard.
Oh, we're definitely going to see that, and especially with McVay. I mean, we've seen McVay do that before. He's known to be that kind of coach at times. He'll pull out those trick plays. So, this is the game when you pull out all the stops. This is when you see it. I mean, think about the Philly special, stuff like that.
Well, you got to think he's also got a chip on his shoulder after, again, that abysmal performance against the Patriots last time they were in the Super Bowl. I mean, he brought he brought nothing out. So, he definitely he doesn't want to get caught with his pants down again. So he's gonna bring something crazy out. That's for sure. But I want to point this out, guys. So the Bengals have been in 3 Super Bowls. 2 of them were against the 49ers. And now they're playing another California team. And they were actually very close to facing the 49ers again for a third time.
Yeah.
So they're obviously 0-2. Is it third time's a charm?
I don't know. That's really tough to say. The difference is those two teams previously, there were more Super Bowl preseason favorites, I would say. I mean, if you look back at those 80s teams, those Cincinnati teams, they were, I mean, a lot of people had them getting that far, most likely. This team came out of nowhere, so just adds a whole nother layer to this. I honestly think the Rams are going to win this game. And you know what? We haven't even mentioned yet is Cincinnati's defense having to face this really good Rams offense with all the weapons they have. We haven't
touched on them yet.
So that's something we can speak on, but Carlos, I think
segue.
I think they're 0 for 3. I don't think they're going to win this game.
You think?
But
I mean, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. We're not at the pick segment yet. But
you kind of asked the question.
Well, no, I'm not. Well, I did, but I'm saying we're not there yet to bring all that up just yet. But,
sorry, I've spoiled my pick.
I mean, you kind of already did that, but
anyway.
Let's bring because this is a good question. Bring this question up. Again, Kirby left it on screen for like 3 seconds and then took it down. Do you guys agree with that or no?
I don't know.
They've
drafted really well. They've done a great job drafting, I think, for sure. And you got to give credit.
Agree with that.
You got to give credit to what Zach Taylor's been able to do with those. I mean, first of all, we thought Zach Taylor was a joke of a coach to start the season. I mean, who would have thought that he would have led them to this moment, that he would be the guy? But it helps to have Joe Burrow. I mean, he's single-handedly turned that team around, and he and Chase, obviously. So I would lean more to the drafting that Cincinnati's done a great job of. I mean, they've literally gone from worst to first in just a couple seasons. So you got to credit what that front office has been able to do and what they've been able to establish with their game plan as well. That's key to put those players in situations like Chase and T. Higgins. I mean, T. Higgins has been there, like 6 or 7 years now? Hey, he's been a Bengal for a while. Actually, no, wait. T. Higgins. No, wait, he hasn't been there that long. That's my bad.
It's Boyd. Boyd has been there for a while. He was like their number 1 receiver before Jamar.
Years ago,
T.
yeah.
Got there, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I got those two guys confused. But yeah, they've drafted really well. Free agency, I can't really put my finger on that, but yeah. I'll let you guys answer because I just yap and yap and yap. So
there's actually an interesting stat. The Bengals in 81 and 88, the previous years they had a losing season.
Interesting.
So same case
thing
this
going
year.
here.
Okay, well, there you go. That puts
Okay.
my previous thing I said earlier as ludicrous. So yeah,
Tyler?
glad you called me out.
Yeah, I'm going to say that they drafted awesome. You know, a lot of people wanted them to take Penei Sewell instead
That's
of
who I
Jamar
thought they should
Chase.
have taken.
We talked about that
And-
before. Yeah.
Yeah, there's all these, memes like, okay, you got Chase. How are you going to throw to him? Your offensive line's not going to block. And then Chase goes out and he sets the rookie receiving record and does all of this. So, I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but it looks like they made the right choice. And, they have an electric playmaker. And then, Higgins is an awesome number 2 and Boyd is an awesome number 3. So they have a ton of weapons out there. And I think you can really point back to the draft for that.
Amen. I agree with that completely.
Yeah, made me eat my words because I bashed the Bengals
Me
for
too.
drafting Chase and not
Yep.
taking, not getting
All three of us.
protection. And then I had to issue a public apology, and that's how that went. But
Had to be theatrical. So that's part of the beauty of this program. Yeah, that's a great point. You got to credit Cincinnati's front office. I mean, they've done just a fabulous job. And they've stayed fairly healthy as well, which is just huge. I mean, obviously when they lost Joe Burrow last year, that was we saw how bad they were without him. So, they weren't that great with him either, though, to be fair. I mean, they didn't have much around him at the time, but they've definitely revamped that team.
So another segue. We wanted to touch on the NFL honors. That is one thing that usually takes place around the time of the Super Bowl. Carlos had a list for us.
I had a list.
No. I got
list.
confused there. No, Carlos had one name in particular that he wanted to touch on, Micah Parsons.
I did not have one name in particular, but go ahead. Go on with your bit here.
Micah Parsons.
Okay.
I'm sure you have thoughts on him winning NFL honors.
Yeah, he won. He was the unanimous Defensive Rookie of the Year.
He
Well
looked
deserved.
great this season.
Does anybody disagree with this decision?
They're not going to throw to him next year as much. That's for sure. They've learned. At least I hope. Quarterbacks around the league have learned.
Yeah, I mean, Micah Parsons. I think he did a pretty good job.
Diggs, Dan?
Yeah, sorry.
I was like, wait, throw to him. Well, that's not true. He has been in coverage a few times, so your point was still warranted.
All right, so Aaron Rodgers.
It's time to give it up.
Aaron Rodgers, back-to-back MVP, obviously.
Yeah, I'll say it for you.
Cooper Kupp, Offensive Player of the Year.
Triple Crown winner.
Well deserved.
TJ Watt, Defensive Player of the Year. Coach of the Year is Mike Vrabel. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jamar Chase. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Micah Parsons.
Of course.
Comeback Player of the Year, Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, of course.
Yeah, Joe Burrow stole it from that. He didn't steal it. I'm sorry. He took
earned it.
He earned it away from Dak Prescott because Dak Prescott was like the heavy favorite for the whole season.
Let us be clear.
But of course, he started playing like doo-doo, and Burrow got hot. So rightfully so, Joe Burrow won it because look where Joe Burrow is. He's in the Super Bowl. Where's Dak Prescott? Where are you? Where are
He's
you,
in the
Dak?
same place we are, at home.
Actually, I think he's in Los Angeles because he was there for the honors, but I don't know if he stayed.
Fair enough.
In one more award, the Kicker of the Year goes to Urban Meyer.
Boo.
Get that? Yeah, the Kicker of the Year before he gets fired.
Jesus Christ! Somebody's been too much on NFL memes.
Yeah.
Hey,
like
you can't.
I done seen that so many times. It's lost. It's funny.
Well,
Nice
I mean, obviously, I think Aaron Rodgers kind of put the haters to bed because a lot of people didn't like him for obvious reasons.
He didn't put the haters to bed just for winning the MVP, buddy.
Well,
I want to ask Tyler,
that
though,
one
Tyler,
voter.
Here's the thing.
I want to ask Tyler though. Tyler, how do you feel about all this Aaron Rodgers stuff? Do you think he's gonna leave? Do you think he's gonna stay and torment your team for another 2 years? do you
Yeah,
think?
he's probably going to stay and torment us, honestly. But who knows? I mean, they have some cap problems, but it probably still gives them the best opportunity. I mean, he's back-to-back NFC championships.
Yeah, they have. That's a great point. They have a ton of cap issues. I'm not sure what they're going to do going into this offseason. They're going to have to do a lot of finding ways to save some cap room if they're going to whatever they're going to do with Rodgers. But yeah, I don't know if he's going to stay or not. I could see.
I think he's gone.
I could see it either way. I really could. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind closed doors that we just don't know. What the discussions are between Rodgers and obviously LaFleur and just that front office in general. So I don't know.
Well, see, LaFleur is really adamant he wants him back. Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't you want Aaron Rodgers back? He gives you
He's
the
Aaron
chance
Rodgers.
at winning.
He's Aaron Rodgers.
I'm pretty sure it's also I don't think they think Jordan Love is ready. So I think they need Rodgers to come back to keep them kind of relevant right now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think he's going to leave soon.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And it's similar to sort of like a Tom Brady thing. I mean, obviously Brady's story is quite different. He'd already won all the Super Bowls and all that stuff, and if Brady wanted to go out and prove he could do it with another team. And I kind of think that with Rodgers. I mean, Rodgers has only won one Super Bowl. He's sort of choked in big playoff games in the past. There's no doubt Rodgers was the best player in the regular season this year. I mean, I don't think anybody would argue that. But he seems to collapse in those huge moments. So maybe he wants to do something similar to Brady. He wants to go somewhere else and prove he can win. The difference is obviously Brady had the hardware and Rodgers only has, one ring. So something to keep in mind as we go.
Yeah, but I feel like any team would want, especially it could be an all-in situation like Los Angeles. Maybe Tampa Bay wants to keep this all-in mentality and they trade for Aaron Rodgers. Maybe Indianapolis makes that type of move. I doubt Miami would be able to pull him. I mean,
nah, they don't have enough there to. Well, that wouldn't be appealing to Rodgers, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
They need more than just a quarterback.
Maybe he pulls a Brett Favre and goes and plays for Minnesota. What?
Like that there, Tyler.
That means he'd have to go to the Jets for a year first.
True.
You're right.
Exactly.
You're right.
Yeah, everybody forgets
happening.
that Favre went to the Jets for a season.
Yeah, he went to the Jets for that one season, and it was not memorable at all.
No.
All right. All right. So before we get into the picks with the records and everything, we'll break it down for you. Let's get into some quick betting stats on this game. The line as of right now at 4.5. The money line, the Rams minus 205, the Cincinnati Bengals plus 172. My question to you all, over 48.5 or under 48.5?
Under.
Oh, give me under. Give me the under.
Yeah, I'm going to go under.
Yeah. That's safe to say. I think I could see it going over, but I think the way that I could see it, but sticking safely, I would do the
under.
I would do the under.
Yeah. That was my mindset there too. I was like, the safe pick is probably the under, but you can definitely see this going over.
Yep. Let's see. Let's see some. I'm looking here on.
Okay, a fun one. What color is the Gatorade going to be?
What are there choices, or do we just have to guess straight up?
There's like orange is like the heavy favorite. Then there's like blue. There's yellow. There's green. There's water. What do you guys think?
Give me. Yeah, give me orange. I think it's going to be orange.
Give me blue Gatorade.
That's a wild card pick. I like it.
I'm going to go. It's probably not going to be this color, but just to be different, I'm going to go yellow.
I'm going orange also. I think it's definitely. I have a feeling it's going to be orange.
It's amazing. I wonder if someone just takes all their money and bets that. I mean, that would be stupid, but hey,
don't forget
degenerate gamblers are degenerate gamblers.
Last season, what was it? McAfee betted like $60K on the coin flip.
Yeah. Yep.
And missed. He lost $60K on that alone.
Did he pick?
At least you get it out of the way.
It's true. You don't.
Yeah, it's one of those
no
bets.
anticipation.
It's
all right. Heads or tails? Heads or tails?
Tails.
Never fails.
Heads.
That's not true. It failed
tails.
Josh Allen.
No, that's too soon. Come on.
No, it's not.
Yeah. So obviously, if you are going to bet on this game, bet responsibly. We don't want you losing all your money. 1-800-GAMBLER if you have a gambling addiction, so on and so forth. So
calling me out.
Yeah.
I don't bet at all.
Yeah. So before we get into the picks, one thing we forgot to touch on. The Rams' high-flying offense, and thank you for pointing this out, Dan. In an hour, there's so much to pack in. This Rams' high-flying offense, this is going to be a very interesting matchup, how Cincinnati's defense can handle the Rams' offense.
And look, we haven't seen many teams be able to cover Cooper Kupp. If you don't start there, then it's going to be a long day for Cincinnati's defense. And then you have to be concerned with Van Jefferson, Odell Beckham,
Higbee
as well. Yeah, I think it's a really tough matchup for Cincinnati's defense, especially in the passing game. The Rams kind of struggle to run the football, and they have in the postseason. So I don't necessarily think that's gonna come into play much. But we'll never know
how Cam Akers looks, and obviously I don't trust Sony Michel for Jack, but
Yeah, Sony Michel's certainly struggled there. So yeah, Cam Akers, this is a big moment for him too. So. We'll see what happens, but Cincinnati, I don't think matches up too well, especially in the passing game. Especially good old Eli Apple, who will probably get torched a handful of times in this game. He's talked
some smack lately. So.
Oh, that's all he does is talk, pretty much. So anyway, that's the way I feel. Yeah. I think it's going to be a tough assignment for Cincinnati's defense. But look, they got the job done in the second half against Kansas City. So you just don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Bengals make good defensive, second half adjustments, but it is going to be tough to stop them. I think the way that you're going to have to stop them is get to Stafford and let him kind of throw the ball up, because frankly, didn't he lead the NFL in interceptions this year? It was 17. And, if you're looking at the 49ers game, he threw that up to Tart, and if Tart brought it down, he might be 49ers in here. So I think that's how you have to stop Stafford.
Good point.
You got to get pressure on him, force him to throw the ball.
And I think they'll get pressure on him.
If you don't get pressure, I don't know how you're going to stop him. Kupp's amazing. Odell's, he's pretty solid. And, Van Jefferson, all those guys they're good.
And it's just wild to me because it seems like with all the accolades Kupp has, best receiver in the NFL, you could argue. I think he is.
He doesn't get that
he doesn't get the respect and notoriety
so
that other receivers get. And it's like, what else does the guy have to do to earn that? But hey, I'm sure he likes flying under the radar. He's like, sure, I'll take it, because if they're not going to pay attention to me, then why not? But yeah, Tyler, great point. About Stafford, and historically that's kind of been the way it is too. Like if you get pressure on him, he's going to make mistakes, and that's going to be key for the Bengals to slow him down at all. But yeah, you're right. If he stands back there, it's going to be a long day for Cincinnati's defense. Yeah, it should be a fun matchup to keep an eye on.
Yeah, Kupp got one MVP vote, and he was the first wide receiver since I think Randy Moss to get an MVP vote as a receiver. So obviously a pretty amazing season that he's had, and no one's been able to stop him.
No.
One MVP vote was from the one guy who didn't want to vote for Aaron Rodgers. But Cooper Kupp, I mean, yeah, he's freaking awesome. It's incredible he doesn't get the same respect that say Megatron got when he was in his prime, or Randy Moss, or like a Terrell Owens, or just to throw out a couple names there. But yeah, and it'll be interesting. I agree with Tyler. Like Matthew Stafford's going to throw one up that's going to be there for grabs.
At least once.
Gonna have, he's going to throw one up.
At least one.
Cincinnati has to get it. They have to, because we saw that's ultimately what kind of costed the 49ers the game, was not getting that interception. So he's going to give you one. You got to come down with it.
Yep. Totally agree.
It's finally time to get into our picks. The Super Bowl 56 pick'ems. We have it all set, and we are ready to go.
Look at Tyler's record 8. No, I'm just kidding. Tyler's got the best record.
Perfect.
Rams by 7. Thanks for tuning in, Ryan. Rams, but if you have picks, get them in before we comment on our picks. But throw them in the comments if you have picks. Now's your time to shoot them. Before we get into our Super Bowl 56 picks from SoFi Stadium, a beautiful $5.5 billion, I think it might be more. I think they said $5.5 billion, if I'm correct. But what a beautiful stadium that is to play a Super Bowl in. What a beautiful stadium.
It's all right.
Well, we know the Cowboys fans gonna just say, "Oh, it's I." Yeah.
It's alright. AT&T Stadium is more grand and beautiful, but
I think the Rams Stadium kicks the crap out of US Bank Stadium.
I don't know. I actually like US Bank Stadium.
US
I
Bank's
think US
awesome.
Bank Stadium is nice.
Yeah, I like it too. These big flashy. I don't know.
Hey, boys. But all of our stadiums kick FedEx Field's ass.
No doubt. Let us remember.
Yes, absolutely. So it is time to
Always
get
gotta
into
bring it
our
back.
picks. I will start.
Hold on. We have to break it down.
We have another pick.
There it is. Okay.
Bengals 27-17. Interesting.
Break it down for us, Swiss.
All right. So don't
Swiss.
call me that. I'm not Swiss Beats. All right. So as it stands, me and Kirby are tied for last place. Dan is pretty much safe, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because even if I lose,
even if you lose,
I'll be fine.
Either Kirby or I, because we have different picks.
I can enjoy the game tonight then.
Yeah. So we have come to a so are we official on the punishment for the loser? Do we want to do that or no? I guess we.
I think. Listen. It was a 2-3 vote before we started the show. Kirby was about it. Come on. We're in a majority rule here, Kirby. I think 2 against 1 is the thought here. So,
Well,
Carlos, what do you think?
This should be an off-camera discussion.
Of course.
Yeah, because you don't want the. Okay,
Okay.
fine. We'll reveal what
do
the
that.
punishment
We'll do that.
is on our recap episode on Tuesday. All right,
Works for me.
jeez. All right, so loser has a punishment. Tyler, of course, is not really in the running for this because he didn't participate for the whole playoffs, but he's participating for the Super Bowl, and that's all that matters. The biggest game of the year. So Kirby, kick us off with your pick, please.
The Cincinnati Bengals by a score of
roll with this doppelganger.
33-22.
It was
23
to 23.
23.
Thanks for ruining it.
That's an interesting score. It is. I have to say.
Yeah, because we kind of talked about it off here. How I think if the Bengals win, it's going to be a close game, and if the Rams win, it's going to probably be a blowout, or not a blowout, but it's going to be more than a touchdown, probably.
You think the Rams will be field goal happy there, Kirby? You're thinking 3 field goals from the Rams, 2 touchdowns, if my math is correct.
Yeah,
I got stuff. I just thought about the score. I was like,
stuff. Okay,
you got stuff.
I gotta be.
I got some
unique
inside.
here.
Are you telling me the game is fixed, bro? Is that what you got? Inside sources?
Let's
right.
move on to the weapons.
Oh!
He's hushing us for this. Okay.
He's got hush money. That's what it is.
Yeah.
All right,
sure,
boys.
Sure.
Well,
All right.
I gave this away earlier, so I hope no one was listening. But yes, I am going with the Rams. go ahead and roll that graphic there, Carlos, if you can.
If it'll show, there it is.
There it is. It's a sick logo. Yep, 27-20. I think the Rams are just too much for the Bengals. So yeah, that's what it is. I think for all the reasons I mentioned, the pass rush on Burrow, the weapons that the Rams have on offense, I think it's just going to be too little, too late kind of comeback for Cincinnati.
All right. Well, I am taking the Rams with the final score of
solidarity
31-24.
Good pick.
I did say that if the Rams win, they're probably going to win in a blowout, but I think my score is more of I think it will actually be a close game, and the Rams are going to pull it off at the end. Tyler?
All right. You know what? Joe Burrow, he's going to be under duress, but that's okay. I'm going Bengals. I'm going 27-24, and it's going to be Evan McPherson. His foot is giving them the Super Bowl victory for the people of Cincinnati and for Harambe. Just throwing it out there.
We forgot about Harambe.
Harambe! Harambe!
We love you, Harambe.
Oh, shout out Harambe. Rest in peace.
That was a great end to that pick, man. Wow.
Oh man.
It kind of makes me want to change my pick now, but I'm not.
Listen,
but wow.
listen. I'm picking. So my pick is based off of I don't want to lose. Okay, I don't want to be the one who has to suffer the punishment. All right. But in my heart, I'm hoping the Bengals win. I just love rooting for the underdog here, and it would be awesome to see the Bengals win a Super Bowl. I want that for Cincinnati.
Listen, here's the thing with me as a Ravens fan. It's hard for me to pick Cincinnati just because the Bengals will never shut up about this if they win. Which, look, rightfully so, right? I mean, you know, then they'll say Lamar will never win one, blah 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 blah. You don't want to hear my pity party, but that's one reason why I think the Rams will win, just because of pure fandom. But listen, fellas, I think one thing's for certain: this is going to be a hell of a good game. I think it's really going to be great, and it should come down to the wire. That's.
I hope it's a good game because Super Bowls that end up being blowouts just are the worst time. Example: Super Bowl, what was it, 46 with the Seattle and Denver. That was the most boring Super Bowl of all time.
Yeah, definitely agree. Look
Tyler,
at that.
Any last thoughts?
Timed this well.
Do it for Harambe or RIP.
My last thought is I have a Rip Harambe shirt, and I'll be wearing that tonight. So.
I love it.
Let's go.
We love it. We love it.
There we go.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Our pregame show. You got our thoughts. Now it's time to listen to the experts on NBC getting you set for kickoff because obviously we're not the experts, but
no,
obviously
we're just 4 stooges in our rooms.
Yeah. Hopefully this has given you impactful insight on who you want to win the Super Bowl. So for the weapon, Dan Demski, I appreciate you coming on, Dan. It's been a very great NFL season for sure.
It's been an honor to be a part of it, man. Looking forward to next year.
One more episode of the 3-man booth.
One more episode right after the Super Bowl. A recap sometime next week. Obviously, the Swiss Army knife, Carlos Martinez. Carlos, thank you again for everything.
Yeah, it's what I do. It's what I do best.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, you do again.
What? I'm not bragging.
That's the definition of bragging, Carlos.
No, it's just what I do best. Listen. Dan, do you want to do it? You see that lovely background that you have?
Okay.
Who made that?
You do a good job,
Who
Carlos.
made that?
You do a good job. I'll give it to you. You do a good job.
Thank you.
Oh, well, one last
point. It could end as a 3-way tie, so what happens then? We all face the punishment?
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
He's not wrong, but I want it to be exciting. I want there to actually be a loser.
You want a definite loser, yeah.
Yeah, we want definity here, okay?
And Tyler Braun-Duin, thank you again for coming on, my friend. It's been a lot of fun.
365 days later. We'll see you next year.
We'll see you 365 days
we'll
from
see
now.
you for Super Bowl 57.
Thank you for coming
Awesome.
on. It was
Thank
good.
you all. It was a lot of fun.
It was a blast.
Super Bowl is right around the corner. It is the Bengals and it is the Rams. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to everybody for tuning in to our live broadcast, our live pregame show. Now go out, enjoy the Super Bowl. Time permitting, I may be back for a live call-in show. Not sure about these two over here, but
I might be down for that.
Well,
Keep
yeah,
me in the loop.
I have to work in the morning.
well, there might be a live call-in show so we can get your thoughts, so on and so forth. That will be updated to you via social media as well. But until then, enjoy Super Bowl Sunday.
Drink
Get
responsibly.
Yes, drink responsibly. Drink eat a bunch of wings, pizza, my favorite chili con queso, and let's have a blast.
Oh my
It's
God, he
Super
said
Bowl.
it again. Hold on, I corrected you.
He tried to pronounce
you.
it.
No, he didn't. Queso Kirby. We did this last year.
That's
It's queso, man. Queso.
There's no better way to end it than on that. I'm just saying. Fabulous. End.
You know what? Bye. He's gone. He's out of the show. He's not welcome anymore. All right, take us out.
That was great.
Until next time, we hope you enjoy Super Bowl Sunday. The Bengals and the Rams. We'll see you around. Love you all.